Yeah, it's cool. I've learned a lot recently that how the Lord takes you to higher ground is maybe different than how it happens for somebody else, and it's always an invitation. So we need to be willing to take the Lord's hand and do that. It happened for me, I think it was last week, where I was just kind of doing my thing, and then I just felt like I needed to go on a walk, and I was on that walk, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of done with this, and I felt like I should go over to the park. And the thing that made me actually go to the park was the thought there's somebody there I need to go talk to. So I was going to the park, and of course, nobody at the park. It was like past 11:30, and I ended up just praying and sitting there and hanging out and imagining and thinking, talking with the Lord. It was good. It was good to spend the time just to be there and to embrace and treasure the moment. A couple days ago, I was hungry and there really wasn't too much food. I realized there was some pancake mix in the kitchen, and I yeah, it made some pancakes. And so, in a way, that was the way I felt like a way to elevate. Work is one of the clearest ways I found that we can be elevated. Spending time in the scriptures, prayer is a form of work. I mean, there's been prayers I've done where it's like I'm talking with the Lord for, over an hour about all these different things going on and just trying to just talk to him about every little thing. I think coming out of my first book, God's trying to talk to me really helped me to tell God more about all the little things in life instead of numbing it down or dumbing it down or just trying to whittle it down. I still struggle with that a little bit, wanting to say things like the perfect way, the perfect way. It's like, no, man, the second you're to the Lord, like you're on higher ground. You're in a better place. And if you are making that time for the Lord, then you might be get the feeling to leave, to change something, to whatever. Shortly after I got back from my mission, I remember having the thought to change up some of the music I was listening to, and I wasn't really listening to any like that stuff, but I felt like I just needed to listen to more music that was really tuning my heart more to the Lord. And so I tried to for a month. I don't think I don't maybe it did last month. I tried to just not have any other music except like church music. So any kind of challenge like that is going to cause you to get to higher ground. It's really easy to do what is simple, what has always worked, and to just get into a pattern, to do what is comfortable. But this gets really gets old quickly, and end of the day, to become what we need to become, there's a constant movement and change and growth that needs to happen. I think of this person from elementary school. His name's Chase Weaverling. We were in second, third, and grade together, and I remember running around with him and stuff in recess. And then I ended up moving to North Carolina. He stayed in England, and he ended up becoming this super, super elite runner. Now has he got in 43rd at the Olympic trials for the marathon last year, and he's just super, super, super elite. If he was to like not train for like a month, he would lose a lot of his running momentum and stuff like that. Like for him, running is the same as breathing. Like he needs to run in order to survive. And not necessarily to survive, but to thrive. It's like something he does. It's part of him. It's deeper than something that he used to do. It's his identity. And for me, like writing is one of those biggest things for me. I need to make time. If I don't make time to write and to work on some of my writing and stuff, then I'm gonna have I'm gonna feel the difference, man. Feel the difference. So I've had many times where I've had I've been one of my newsletters or a poem, And I felt just lifted up and strengthened. It'll be okay. It will get better. There are better days ahead. There are different things ahead. And that is often happening when I was doing something that, you know, I felt like a deeper expression of myself instead of trying to fit into this box or trying to make this certain thing happen. I moved out here to Utah a couple months ago, and I feel like it was the Lord asking me, do you want to elevate? Do you want to grow? Do you want to change? And yeah, now I'm working for my startup, living in this basement. It's not making a ton of money or anything. I'm experiencing growth, experiencing change and relief from different pains I used to experience. So that's beautiful. It just takes time, this elevation process, this learning process, and so much is going to be kind of invisible, and especially to other people. But the people that I really feel like God can open our eyes to different people's potential at least a little bit to better see it, to help each other out. I think that's really important because otherwise we'll just kind of settle to see oh, that's what somebody looks like. That's their outward appearance. They must be like this, and this, and it's oh, it's so much deeper than that. That's just scratching the surface. Everybody has so much deeper stuff to them, and it's beautiful, and are able to open up and share things we're going through. I wanted to share a little bit from scripture, and it's Paul, and it's I'm just gonna start in verse 7 of 2 Corinthians 12. Lest I should be exalted a measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. So this is Paul, who has all these missions. He's done all these great things for the Lord and has changed his life completely over. And he has this thing that he's going through, and he's kind of bro, can we tone this one down? Can we take this one out of the picture, please? And he's praying that he besought the Lord thrice, so 3 times, man, 3 times. Verse 9, he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So it's kind of saying I'm not going to change you. We're not going to take this weakness away. However, you can have strength in your weakness. And Paul's I can glory in the infirmities that are happening. I can glory in wreck. I can glory in the everything that the power of Christ made upon me. Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities and reproaches and necessities and persecutions and distresses for Christ's sake, for when I am weak, then am I strong. So I really like this a lot. Gives a lot of comfort and encouragement. It was one of my cousin's missionary scriptures, so I think that's one of the biggest reasons why it's one that I appreciate a lot. Right now, it's easy to look at what I'm doing right now and look at the lack of fruits and feel upset or frustrated or just not be at peace with it, even though I know that I have if where I was a couple months ago, it's okay, there's been some serious growth that's happened. It's just on the day-to-day, it's just kind of been not much has really happened, bro, but that stuff is happening because stuff has been cooking. You start showing to the Lord's table, you show up every day, you eat at his table, you start to look different. Things start to change. Things get better. But you also have these things that Paul's talking about here where, there's thorns in the flesh. There's fiery darts of Satan. There's these things that might be sent to buffet you, to throw you off your game, right when you're at your game, right when you're at your highest point. It's happened in sports today where somebody's up at their game and then something happens to a member of their family or some other struggle happens, and it can change your focus. You change your focus from okay, I'm gonna do the best I can at this game and blah blah blah, to you're worrying about something that's happened. It can be a real struggle. This is actually something that happened with the Ball family. I followed their story a little bit. Lonzo Ball was in the NBA, and I think he's still in the NBA, but he was talking about his mom had gotten cancer, and he knew that, but during the game, after the game, one of the like official news people wanted to talk to him about it. It's like, oh, did you hear that this happened? Blah blah blah. What do you think about it? Blah blah. And wanting to get some kind of reaction, trying to get something out of it. Not necessarily that it'd be a bad thing, but sometimes it's just not appropriate to get into that kind of stuff, especially like on TV. So Lonzo Ball looks at the camera and he says, you know, I don't want to talk about it. You know, like that's like I'm focusing on what I'm doing. I'm focusing on the game. This is how I'm supporting. This is how I'm blessing my family. This is how I'm helping my family out. And I know that got my dad, got all these other people that are helping out with the team, with that team back home, helping the home team out. So he just do his part. And yeah, to worry about that or stress about that would not have been good. We get Nehemiah 6:3, and I think that's another good one that kind of goes along with what I was just talking about. There might be different things that come into the picture that are trying to throw you off. Arya, I hope you're having a good day today so far. Yeah, so it says it here in Nehemiah 6:3, very similar. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work, so I cannot come down. Why should the work cease whilst I leave it and come down to you? Yet they sent it to me 4 times after this sort, and I answered them after the same manner. So we get the same thing, where, you know, for one thing, like with Paul, it was like there was something that was happening in his life, there was some thorn in his flesh that was tempting him to fall and to lose some of his spiritual height or whatever. But Paul turning to the Lord, praying, obviously he's able to get up. And here we have Nehemiah, and it's a physical uh, height. He's high up, and he's working on this wall thing, this thing that he needs to do. You know, for you, this could be working at your job or homework. Oh, rest in peace if it's homework. I wish you all the best. Or not, rest in peace. I don't know. What's an RIP that, like, work in peace? I don't know. Just get it done. I wish you all the best. That sounds rough. Homework can be really rough, but it's nice when you get the homework done. There's a sense of satisfaction. Whereas with work, what I'm doing right now, you kind of have to give yourself that satisfaction sometimes, because when I get done with work for the day, there's still plenty to do tomorrow. So it's sort of like we're pausing it. Whereas with homework, a lot of times it's like you're getting it done and it's done and you don't have to think about it anymore. Whereas for me, sometimes I'll have things come up and I have to think about it again the next day because it's not really tariff. And I'm working in sales for my friend's startup. So there's a lot of things that are coming up where it's like, okay, we need to keep working with this person to help them work towards, buying into the product and stuff. Yeah. So, whatever today holds for you, I wish you all the best with it. And I encourage you to rise up and to take the opportunities that the Lord gives you to rise up and to stand with Him. And that's not going to be easy. That's not going to be comfortable. That's not going to be, probably not going to be super fun. But He is able to lift you up and take care of you, take care of all the things that go on. There might be all kinds of crazy stuff that happens and things that come through your mind from years ago. But end of the day, our lifeguard walks on water. So don't have anything to worry about with that. We just need to keep on following the Holy Ghost and not worry about all these different things that we don't have control over. Something I've struggled with in the past is wanting to fix people's problems for them. That's not a thing. It's not. You can encourage people, you can wish them well, you can talk to them, you can do a lot of different things, but you can't solve problems for them. You can, like I said, you can encourage them, you can talk with them, you can counsel with them, but at the end of the day, you can't like fix things. You can't be the savior for them. Like Christ is the savior, and He did amazing things. And that's really the best thing you can do, is you can help your friends turn to Christ. And yeah, just as you have opportunities that come up to get elevated, to find that lifting, to seize those opportunities. There's been times in my life where I've had some church talk or something come up on my YouTube feed, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch that later. For now, I'm just gonna watch the self-development YouTuber or his business YouTuber or person that has helped me out in my journey, and that's great. But it's more important to make time for that spiritual sustenance, because who knows, maybe there's something that I really need to hear from that person or that thing, and that's why the Lord is kind of directing me in that path. It says it in Isaiah 42:16, that I will lead the blind by a way that they knew not, and I will make darkness light for them and crooked things straight. These things I'll do for them and not forsake them. So that's a really beautiful thought. It's how the Lord is able to just meet us where we're at, and he's also able to lead us through that crazy time, in our blindness, in our weakness, in our pain. He's able to help us out through it. So it's happened for me enough times. Just at the end of the day, you just kind of have to stay in that higher place. If you have opportunity to do that, and to make time for that, and to keep that time sacred. When I was living back in North Carolina, there'd be times I'd go to these woods by my house, and I just walk around that over and over again. It's super nice. Those are special times. And I felt my energy levels, I felt my mind, I felt all these things like elevated and lifted up. And I had more ability to do good with the rest of today. So yeah, there's a real need to grow. There's a need to make different choices than the ones before, the ones that will help us to get to better places. And that's been happening for me recently, where it's like, oh yeah, that's not something I really want to do, and it's not something I'm super used to doing. But if I'm not willing to do that, you can't have the new thing. Like me making pancakes a couple of nights ago. That was outside of my normal routine, but I did that, and it was a time, and I'm probably gonna do it again. So that's the beautiful thing, when you trust the Lord and you let him elevate you, take you to a higher place through the activity that is before you, then yeah, there's a lot of beauty with that. And another part of this too is to be okay with doing the thing that you need to do when you need to do it. So there's a time for rest. There's time for, relaxation, calming down. I'm doing 75 hard right now, and yesterday after my run and stuff, I mostly was just chilling. Like I did 45 minutes of just kind of stretching and hanging out, and then I watched some episodes of Pokemon. So that was what I did. And it was a good time. I was also taking notes too. So it was good. It was good stuff. Yeah, I think with the day to day, there is immense opportunity, and just to kind of let Christ raise you up and take you to higher places. And a lot of that comes down to making that time to just be still, know that God is God, know that God is going through for you. It says in Psalm 46:10, be still. Know that I am God. I know there's been times where I've stressed out about things from the past, or I've worried about things I've said or things that I've done, and things I've repented of and let go of completely. And might be this temptation to wanting to descend and to worry about these things that are already taken care of. There's no need to revisit anything like that. Just got to keep moving forward. So when that happens, there's always opportunity to ascend instead. Always opportunity to ascend instead, and to just take the Lord's hand and walk with him. there's always the opportunity to do that. So it says in 1 Corinthians 10:13, there is no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted of that which you're able, but will with the temptation make a way for you to escape, that may be able to bear. And that's a really good scripture too. Just saying, with any temptation, the Lord is going to provide a way for you to make it and to rise above it. So there's a really cool song from Cool Runnings. It's called Rise Above It. I'm yawning a lot. I'm waking up. Trying to do earlier stuff. First time doing a live stream this early in the morning. And there's, I think there was 5 people at one point. So probably won't do it this early again. Maybe I could try one at lunchtime. That'd be fun. But yeah, it's interesting because like with doing streams, I really like speaking. So it's like that's a good thing. Even if the ROI from this isn't like very apparent, I feel like it's probably worth it to get my thoughts out there. Because like with my life right now, like my talking to people level is probably like it's at a low if I'm just kind of staying in my own place, which is what I did yesterday. Didn't really talk to many other people. I'm living with an older couple, they live upstairs. But like it's easy to kind of go through these days where I don't really do a ton. I don't really talk to too many people, and I don't really get out of my comfort zone, which is not very good. Just woke up, so I don't Yay! I was just talking about how, yeah, there hasn't been too many people here, but it's been good. Yeah, walk the light. I've had the last couple days have been pretty good, so it's been cool. I had some cool moments watching Pokemon last night. I was watching Diamond and Pearl, which I don't know. There's just some moments like when Bonsley evolves into Snootawudo, which was like it was a vibe. Like he like escaped from his captivity and then he like started evolving and it was like super cool. So it was that was a vibe. So I like took notes of all of that. So I have all these notes. I think just writing like helps me think things out. But yeah, like I have all these different notes from different things from the show that just like stood out to me that I wanted to remember. So it was a vibe. Just really trying to use my photographic memory to its potential. I'm probably going to spend more time, try to spend more time memorizing more of my poetry. But yeah, trying to use my mind to its full potential more because yeah, I mean having a photographic memory is like an insane opportunity. It's something I need to train, but there's an insane opportunity to memorize tons of scriptures, memorize more quotes, and just be really intentional about it. So yeah, it's been beautiful though. It's been a battle. It's been a battle. But like I was saying earlier, like you can take those opportunities the Lord's giving you to like rise up and actually like rise up and kick serious bum. You know what I mean? Like it's like yeah. Those days like there's this one day where I hadn't really much and then I got outside and I just like dead sprinted for like 20 straight and it just felt amazing. I feel like Sonic almost a little bit. You're just like feeling super amazing. So that was good. Yeah. So there's a need. There's a need to keep elevating. There's a need to keep growing because the blessings that are ahead for me, they're higher up. That's the reality. Climbing up this hill right now with work, with all these things, and like it's not gonna happen by itself. Like I have to keep on going after it and just keep elevating. Like I can't spend any time worrying and stressing about uh, old news. Old news, you know. Satan would love to broadcast past sins and stuff like that new news, and it's not. It's not new news. It's old stuff. It's all fake. All fake news. I mean, it's old. So yeah, it's like when you've changed, you're like a different person. and you just continuously are making progress past that. You're just like, wow, it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's been really humbling just how the Lord is able to show up. I think the Lord right now is revealing how I look at myself and just helping me see myself at a higher level and just in a better way. Last night I had a dream where I seen like my younger self when I was 6 or 7, like playing soccer, running around, and just having a good time. Like I could see the smile on my face. It was me when I was a lot younger, and made me cry. Made me cry seeing that because I was like, no way is that me. But then like I knew it was me. It was me seeing myself. So that was beautiful. It's just humbling how there's emotions I'd like to express that dreams help me to express them a lot of the time these days. And that's a big part of dreams too, is dreams can help you to express these things and talk things out and feel these things that you need to feel. Like if you have a lot of pent up emotion about some situation, sometimes you can have a dream which helps you to work through that emotion, helps you to better understand it. Like maybe you see this collapsing building and you're running through that building, and because you did all that stuff in your dream, you wake up and you're like, wow, like I feel better. Like I feel like I can move forward. I have a clearer head. So yeah, sleep vital. And it's definitely happened on my mission where I know the Lord was helping me to just believe and see things in a better light. Remember on my mission, I had a dream that like we knocked on the door and they let us in. It's like a great experience. And yeah, shortly after that, we went and I like went to this house, and this one guy he wasn't super upset, but he wasn't as like chill as I was hoping to be. He wasn't as kind and everything as the people in the dream were. But the Lord knows how to get us off our bum and get moving, because time is flying by. This is not a drill. This is not a rehearsal. This is the real thing. This is the real thing that's happening right now. It's the real thing. You only got 4 hours of sleep. Rough. That is rough, bro. Where did I go on my mission? I was in the Idaho Nampa mission. So, fun fact, the Idaho Nampa mission only lasted from 2013 to 2019, so only a 6-year period. So there was only about maybe 900 or so Idaho Nampa missionaries, and that's it. I don't think there'll be any more of them unless they re-mission again. But yeah, basically what happened was the Boise mission was the thing, and then they're like, yeah, we want to have another mission, and so they added another mission, and that was the name mission. And then when my mission president finished up his mission, him and his wife, they're just like, oh yeah, let's close it up. So there you go. I was out there from October 2015 to October 2017. It was a real blessing, a real joy. I've been home for over 7 years now, so that's wild. But end of the day, just keep going. And lately I've been thinking about like those crazy over like breaking for the coals trials, because I'm sure I'm gonna have one of those soon. I don't really want to have one of those. There's like that quote, like humble yourself before God humbles you. So I don't know. But end of the day, we just enjoy the here and now. Grateful I can talk, grateful I can move, grateful I can sleep, grateful I can live in this really nice place. It's nice to live in Utah. It's nice to live close to civilization, and it's nice to be out of my parents' house now. I can kind of build my own life out here. It has not been easy, but the Lord has been blessing me like crazy, like so much. And it hasn't really been in the ways that I've really wanted, but there have been all these beautiful things that have just happened where I've just known that the Lord was helping me out and that He knew where I was. Like we had this little like get together after church on Sunday, and there was popcorn. That was awesome. But it didn't really like fill me up, even though I had like 2 things of the popcorn, which is probably way too much popcorn. And then I ended up like there was this other award other congregation that was going to come in after us, and they had cereal. So even though I wasn't part of it, I got some cereal, ended up going and talking to this dude that was there. So it was good, you know? And then later I actually ran into him, but I didn't go and talk to him, and I realized that was probably a big oof. It was probably meant to be that I ran into him again, but I didn't go and talk. That was a big oof, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. That's another interesting thing is like how once you meet somebody once, like now you can build off from that. And it's happened multiple times where I've met somebody, had a good talk with them, and then later I met them in this crazy way and saw them at some place where I normally go to. And I'm like, oh, how is this happening? So it's cool because if I'd just gone to that thing and I'd seen them, like I wouldn't have recognized them or anything if I didn't met them at some point in time. So yeah, to like break this down, I think a lot of the Lord taking us to higher places, it comes down to taking those invitations, like Paul, and also telling Heavenly Father about what you're going through and what you're experiencing, and then to kind of enjoy the here and now and appreciate the ways that the Lord reaches out to you that may not make very much sense to other people. So, like a quick little example for me, back in January of last year, I was trying to get into pizza delivery again. I needed some money. I was doing my work and stuff where I was working my own thing, writing my books and stuff, writing my newsletter, but I really wanted to make a little more money. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to work for Domino's. And it felt right. I was like, cool, going to work out, start over, new beginning. And then there's just a couple different times where it didn't seem like things are really happening with that. So then I just kind of was sort of like, okay, well, I'm just like go and brute force my way through. And I'd already talked with the manager a couple times. I'd already brought in my resume and stuff. And they're like, yeah, this will be great, blah, blah, cool. And then when I went to the store, I looked in the store and I just kind of felt the spirit say, I already took you out of this. Do you want to go back? Like, I took you out of this so so you don't have to do this again. And that really kind of struck me. And yeah, so it was meant to be for me to deliver pizza, at least for Domino's. Nothing against Domino's. I delivered for Pizza Hut when I was in college, and that was a good time. Their Domino's would have been fine. It just wasn't meant to be with all the things that were going to in my life later at that point. So it was beautiful because yeah, it was Domino's. So now whenever I see a Domino's car drive by, or this past week I actually somebody bought Domino's pizza. It's kind of I kind of like chuckle on the inside a little bit. I'm just kind of grateful. It's like I'm grateful that I'm not delivering pizza. Grateful I'm working a job that I can make more money than I would have ever made, delivering pizza. And that the Lord has this figured out. I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about these things. But I have to trust him. And that's another part where this elevation comes into place, because sometimes that elevation comes from just being still and not making a move and just letting do what he wants to do and not worrying about it. So yeah, it's happened multiple times where yeah, I've just kind of take time to just cherish the moment and just enjoy the here and now, because I do appreciate being able to live here right now, but I know it's really temporary. The thing about it though is I have no idea where I'll go from here. Like how this all came together is a complete miracle. So I don't know where I'll go from here, but don't have to worry about that. For now, you just have to keep doing 75 hard, and I'm really determined to finish 75 hard this time, because the day one was yesterday, which is kind of sad, but yeah, I fell off and I've been taking my time of getting back on it. But if I stayed with it this whole time, this time, I'd finish on April 7th, which April 7th, 2022 was when I graduated in BYU, Idaho. Yeah, April 7th, 2022. So April 7th, 2025 is marks 3 years from me graduating. So that would be cool. Within a year after graduating, I had a lot of different experiences and was at a beach house with my family and got to play in the waves, and that was a special memory. I have a podcast episode with that. And then with 2024, yeah, I think I don't think it was quite, I just don't really remember much about it. Just I remember making a podcast episode about it, and it was a good day. So, yeah. It's cool when you can have a day that's like a cool moment or a memory or a milestone, and then year after year on that same day, you're elevating and you're growing. That's really cool. I mean, there was this one day a couple years ago I remember relapsing and stumbling into pornography, but then into viewing pornography and stuff. But, then that same day last year in 2024, I like woke up early, got tons done, and it was just like, it was like a completely different person. And of course, it is a completely different person. You know, I've changed, I've grown, I've learned a lot. But it's humbling to have that reminder in that moment of that like memory of like on this day a couple years ago, like, I let my guard down and I let this thing happen that led to these other repercussions of pain and such. But yeah, it's satisfying to really see the the tables turn. It's a beautiful thing to see the tables turn, feel things changing, feel the growth happening, and yeah, I shared it a little bit before. Actually, maybe I didn't. But it's like Proverbs 20:13 talks about opening your eyes, loving not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open your eyes and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. And that goes along well with Matthew 6:11 about give us this day our daily bread. So we just need to look to the Lord, get our daily bread from Him, let Him take us to higher places, and yeah, just not worry or stress about it. And this is something I struggle with so much is wanting to do like perfect thing. It's actually so crazy sometimes. I'm okay, Lord. I'll do that, but it's like I want to do this like perfectly. I want to send this text perfectly. I want to do all this perfectly. And when something doesn't happen that way or something and something messes up, it's easy for me to be like, "Oh no, you fool." But it's not that way at all. So I was reading from it from Creativity Inc. Good book, really good book, talking about some of the people that worked on Pixar and stuff like that. And I think it was Pete Docter. He was talking about when Monsters Inc. was happening, when he was working on that there was times where something wouldn't go very well. He put it upon himself. He like take it really, really personally. And he's like, I kind of had to learn that failure was a big part of making a great movie. Like it's a very important because you have to have the conflict. You have to have things not really work out. It makes for a better story. If there was no failure or anything like that, then it kind of defeats the purpose. So yeah, right now in my life, we're just kind of going this slow up climb. I mean, last week was pretty good. Today, I hit it hard, do a lot of cold calls and stuff, but starting the day out in the skurs, made a little live streams. That's cool. And it's already a win. So you just have to enjoy the day, enjoy the time. You want pizza, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. I would probably put Pizza Hut over Domino's, but that's just me. So, but it's good stuff. So, yeah, the Lord might put somebody in your life, and that person is there to help you get to higher ground. And I've had that happen a number of times, and I'm sure I've been that for some people before, and that's a beautiful gift when the Lord sends somebody to just raise you up. And sometimes it's just because it's time. It's time. We've already spent enough time at that level. If it's like Mario or something, you've already spent enough time there. So why would you stick around longer than is needed. There's no need for that. So yeah, there's a lot more I could say on that, but one day at a time. Just have to keep building going. The rock of Christ, and let Him build on that foundation. You know, it says in the Book of Mormon, Helaman 5:12, "Now my sons, remember that is upon the rock of our Redeemer, who is Christ, that you must build your foundation, though, and the devil shall send forth his winds, yea, shafts in the whirlwind. Yea, when all his hail and his mighty wind shall beat upon you, it shall have no power you to drag you down to the gulf of misery and endless woe, because of the rock on which you're built, which is a sure foundation, a foundation whereon if men build, they cannot fall." So, yeah, man, it just takes time. It takes time. That's how this goes. It takes time, and then when it's built out, when the foundation's super built out, it is super, super, super solid. So it takes time. I had the thought about doing like a Zoom call with the people that are on my newsletter, because I have almost 700 people on my newsletter. So I was thinking about doing that and doing like a little training thing. So that'd be fun. That'll get me out of my comfort zone. Hopefully that'll help some people. I guess the main thing that would keep me from wanting to do that is because it's going to like rock the boat a little bit, because people are used to just reading my newsletter, but now it's like a video component too, you know. I don't know. We'll see. But what I know about my life is that I need to keep opening my mouth. I need to keep putting myself out there, and I need to just keep on doing these kind of things. So I don't know when I'll watch this video again. Maybe when I'm feeling kind of low or in a lower state or whatever. Because right now I feel like, woo, right now I feel really good. Gotta keep on working and get some things done to elevate that more, of course. And just gotta do what needs to happen today. That's really it at the end of the day, and enjoy it. But I was into competitive Smash Bros a little bit. I'd be open to going to a tournament again. I tried playing competitively for a little bit. The best I ever did was I got top 5 at a tournament, a weekly tournament in Rexburg, Idaho. So I had once, and yeah, also won one tournament, but it was a hero only tournament right after Hero came out, but I did win that tournament, so that was cool. But yeah, I was really trying to try to do that, you know, to like a super elite Smash player and stuff like that. Because I had a roommate that was playing semi-professionally, and so he'd train me a little bit. He like coached me a little bit, and it was really good. But then, you know, kind of realized it was taking more time than I really had time for, and it was fun, but I wasn't like streaming my gameplay or anything like that. Like that's like at least a sort of decent way to get more practice, and also knock out two birds with one stone. If you're streaming it, you know, you could potentially make some money or something like that. I got to affiliate on my uh, Twitch account, my personal Twitch account, but shortly after that, I felt like I needed to step away from it. But that account is still there; it still exists. Um, but yeah, it's humbling, you know. God has much bigger plans for our lives, and we do to trust that. But I actually watched a couple Smash Bros videos today, including one from this roommate friend, and I found out the channel VG Camp. Like, I remember when they were going through like financial struggles and like, oh, we don't know if we're gonna make it, blah blah blah. And that was when YouTube and Smash Bros wasn't quite as big. And yeah, now they're like super big channel, relatively under 20,000 subscribers or so, probably more than that, a little bit more than that. But the thing that stood out to me the most, they had uploaded 56,000 videos. I was like, that's crazy. See, that's like paradigm shifting. That's paradigm shifting kind of stuff. When you see a channel that has uploaded 56,000 videos, like I think that's the most I've ever seen on a YouTube. There's been some, like I have over 1,000 on this channel, and a lot of that's shorts, but still it's something, you know. So there's somebody could engage and be blessed by something I say or something that happened on my journey or whatever. Yeah, like 56,000 videos that they've uploaded to that channel. It's like, that's crazy. It's like once you build it out enough, like you can get it to, it's like, and you get enough views coming in and stuff, like, it can become a pretty consistent thing. Obviously, it's good to have others going on in the background too. Yeah, that just kind of blew my mind. And I counted up all the videos that they'd uploaded. Like they uploaded sets from all these tournaments and stuff. I don't know how they do it, but I'm sure they have like a pretty decent sized team that takes all of it. But yeah, they'd uploaded over 70 videos in the last week. So yeah, you do that, like 70 videos in a week, 70 times 52. I mean, in a month or in a year, it's like 3,000 videos. So it adds up, dude. If you did 70 videos every week for a whole year, that's a lot of content. So it kind of changed my paradigm a little bit, like how there's no reason to hold myself back. There's no reason to be like, all right, I'm not going to upload a bunch of videos today, or I'm not going to work more on this. I'm not going to work to get better at this. Like, what's holding you back? There's no reason to hold anything back at all. Like, just put yourself out there, grow, put in the time every day, and watch yourself soar. Watch yourself get to higher places because you're putting in more time. And think of like working for my friend's startup. That's any of this stuff. Like, if you really want to see where you can go, like you can put in a lot more time and put in a lot more work. You can make more sacrifices. You can just schedule time for phone calls and other stuff, and then all this other time you can spend like working and building these things. Like you can do that. I'm in a season of you know, being single, chilling, and yeah, there's no limits. Once I, you know, plan to get a new computer soon, new camera. Once some of that stuff goes on, it'll be easier to put out better and better content. That'd be super nice. So a lot of the battle right now is continuously just saving up the money and not worrying about other things that might be going on, and just to move the needle forward, a little bit each day, do those things, and just keep shattering the paradigm. That's the key. Just keep shattering it. Keep on doing things that would put me way out of my comfort zone, that me in the future, or me in the past, well, me in the future would be like, yay, but me in the past, like, dude, like, that's crazy. So I recently passed over 700 subscribers on this channel, or I hit 700, so that was cool. I was hoping to have over 1,000 back in September, but that's okay. I think I was shooting pretty high though. I didn't really have like a clear goal of how to do that, so yeah. But I think of like how I'm experiencing more freedom in the day to day from just chilling with and enjoying the journey. I don't know how time flies by so much during these things. I just don't know how. It's been over 50 minutes. That's crazy. Yeah. I do think the next one of these I'll probably do at noon or something, mountain time, just to see what happens. I have historically had decent numbers with evening times, so yeah. But we just kind of have to keep going. 700, man, 700. So it's 300 away from 1,000. So yeah, I had one of my videos kind of pop off. Yeah, it happened out of nowhere. The one where I was talking about Settlers of Catan, some reason that one popped off. I was looking at the statistics stuff, and that one's drove at least 7 or 8 subscribers. I only have one video that's doing that. It's cool. It has over 440 views, I think, which that's the most I've ever gotten from a long form video on this channel. So the most I've ever gotten from a short was 10,000. And I know these aren't like any crazy numbers, but it's something. The most views I've ever gotten on a video on my old gaming channel was, I think, 20,000, I think. I'd have to double check that. But it's a lot. It's a lot. So, and those videos have had more time to get all those views too. A lot of those videos are like, some of them are over a decade old. So, yeah. Yeah, it'll take time. It'll take time. But I'm pretty confident I'll have a video that passes that one of these days on here, as long as I keep on improving the content, enjoying the journey, and just being myself and getting to these higher places and remembering that the best is ahead. And that means the best is ahead. That means that even these super amazing moments with all these different things that were really cool and they were really great, I look back at them and I'm like, man, those really were special times. Those really were special times. You know, those times. But the best is still yet to be. The best friendships, the best relationships, all this stuff is still ahead. So I'm thankful for that. I have some really awesome friends that I stay in touch with for a long time, but there's still some people I need to meet that are going to help me to elevate and grow. And it's crazy when you meet somebody and they meet you in like that higher, they meet you in an elevated, like in an elevated way. So that's the way they see you. And that's a great place to start from. They see you as somebody that can be a blessing, and you want to stay up and not be robotic, of course, but be at that place where you can still be trusted and stuff. Because I'll tell you this, losing trust, good luck getting that back. That's not easy. It's really important that if you're not able to make it to something that you said you're going to be at, to do whatever you can to like call them up and be like, hey, this isn't going to work or blah, blah, blah. Then you can like take care of these things. Quick example, I was going to have somebody come on my podcast and I was like super jazzed up and I was ready to go. I was going to have them on my podcast and then they didn't show up. And I was like, what the world? So, and 3 days later, I got a message from them that said, hey man, sorry I missed the podcast interview. I was like on this cruise or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We didn't have internet or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, like, you could have let me know that. There was the potential to tell me before that happened. So I felt like chopped liver, of course. And I think I interviewed him later. I don't even remember his name, which is crazy because I have this photographic memory, but I don't remember his name. I don't know, man. Life is precious. The brain is a sacred place. Heart is a sacred place. It's important to just make space for the Lord to do his amazing stuff there. And end of the day, you make time for the things that will elevate you, and you'll be elevated. And it doesn't make sense, you know, like reading scriptures or like promptings may not seem like a very useful activity, but end of the day, that's how we're gonna get to. That's how we're gonna get to him. That's how we're gonna get home. So it's good stuff. Right now I'm just kind of stalled a little bit. Yeah, on a little bit. With the ADHD, I realize that a lot of it is I need to be like being distracted really helps out. Like if I'm listening to a book, then I can like go on a walk or I can do something else, and I can do those things without listening to anything. But at least to get the ball rolling, it helps to have something that I'm already doing. So, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm grateful for another day, grateful for another battle. That's a cool thought. Grateful for another battle. Yeah, because that's how I'm going to be sharpened and refined. I don't really have any plans super much today except work. That's what I got to do. Got to make the money today. And maybe I'll play some video games tonight. Maybe I'll play some Zelda or something. I don't know. But it'll be good. It'll be good. As long as I don't do what I did yesterday and was like, yeah, let's get stuff done. And then I'm not even kidding. Yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, let's get stuff done. And then I just went back to sleep. I just literally laid down And I slept like 5 or 6 hours, and then it was not good. My sleep schedule needs help. Earlier in the year, I was doing great. Right now, I think I have some things that are just kind of eating away at me that I need to take care of, that I need to work on, and then, yeah, help with making a way for that. So, yeah, little by little, though, that's how this goes. That's how this goes. And the Lord's able to direct it. He's able to direct it. It was back in July 2023 when I was living on my own. I was living on my own for 54 days, experienced a ton of growth in that time. And I made a video called, like, trust in what God is doing in your life or something. And all of a sudden, that was getting views. And I was getting subscribers. Got 7 subscribers from that in like one day, I think. And all of a sudden, my channel went from like 50 subscribers to 57 subscribers. It looks like I need to start talking more about my faith and my journey of getting to know God more. And even if I wanted to talk about self development and stuff like that, like that's great. But the thing that I would be most able to help people would be in sharing my testimony and stuff like that. So that was almost 2 years ago now, which is wild, making that little pivot. And that's what's led to a lot of the channel growth. I think I got 500 subscribers in 2024 overall. So I was at about 200-ish beginning of that year, and now that's 700 now. But yeah, we just kind of have to keep growing, keep improving, keep doing what I can, and keep creative. Enjoy the time. So, yeah, there is a need. There is a need to elevate. There's a need to grow. There's a need to higher ground. Yawning a lot. Probably gonna eat some breakfast after this. I need to eat some food, and then I'll be hitting the cold calls pretty hard. I gotta do that. They're not gonna call themselves. They're not themselves. That's how this works. I gotta call them up, talk to them about how they're doing. So at this point, we're kind of rambling, but we're really close to the hour mark. I hope you have a great day walking the light. Thanks for hopping on. Keep up the great work, man. You're definitely getting some good traction. It's cool to see your intros like improve and how you're owning the Dragon Ball Z like kind of vibe of your content of like getting to the Super Saiyan level of clarity and joy and everything. So happy for you. Yeah. Yeah. Just gonna take more time, enjoy the journey, and that's kind of it. So I think this is a good place to, and it's always humbling when you're ending a live stream and it's like there's not much energy going on, not much energy transfer happening. Um, but yeah, it's all good. Next time will be better for sure. And I probably need to plan some things out. But this is worth it. This is worth it. This is good. It's good to, because I hadn't really connected the Nehemiah 6:3 and the 2 Corinthians 12. Like that was fire. Hadn't connected though before. So anyway, I'm gonna get some eating done and then work on some stuff. But thanks for watching. Subscribe for more live stuff, and I will see you next time. Have an awesome, wonderful day, and let the Lord take you to where He's taking you. Let Him help you out. And I know that as you will make time for the Lord, that you will see miracles happen. You'll see a lot of growth and change, and you'll be able to have new levels of belief in yourself, because Christ really did suffer for your sins. He really did walk the road that you're walking, and He knows your pains and sorrows perfectly. He knows how to succor you and lift you up. So I know these things are true, and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. So that was good stuff. Yeah, we're just a little bit over the hour mark, and yeah, things are good. So, thanks again. See you next time. Bye.